what's up you guys? Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you're a returning viewer. It's great to have you here with me. I hope you guys are all doing well in the new year. It's been a while since my last video, and thankfully it wasn't because of anything serious. It just so happened that my favorite time of the year also coincided with my final semester of college, and so things were getting super busy, and I kind of just took a step back from making videos and talking about candles to really focus on my classes and just finish everything out. And that, along with being just a little bit burnt out from last season as there was just so many releases, kind of led me to take this very extended break. But hey, it's a new year and that means brand new candles, which leads me into the topic of today's video, and that is the brand new Easter release from Kringle Candle. This was a collection last year that was very popular and super cute with its packaging, and Kringle was nice enough to send me the entire collection to preview for you guys today. So before we get started, I do want to disclose that I am a Kringle Candle ambassador, which means if you use the code WickedDullBoy, you can save 15% on your purchase over at Kringle Candle. Now, this is a commission code, so whenever you use it, I do receive a small amount of kickback from it. So anytime you do use it, it is very much appreciated. And I also want to say that I am currently a little bit sick. This is the second time I've been sick within like the last month. So if I sound a little nasally, or I guess more nasally than usual, that is why. So bear with me a little bit here. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into everything that I have to share with you guys today. So featured in this collection, there are going to be 6 of the tall Kringle jars in the absolutely stunning speckled glass jars, and there will also be 3 of the designer 3 wicks. So out of the speckled jars, I do have 4 to share with you guys. Unfortunately, I do not have the Easter brunch nor the jelly bean jubilee. These were both featured in last year's Easter collection, so if you had them last year and wanted to repurchase them this year, they are the same exact fragrances. I didn't get a chance to try them last year, so unfortunately I won't be able to speak on them today. But the ones I do have to share are lemon sugar marshmallow, chocolate eggs, Easter petals, and carrot cake. And the 3 wicks that will be featured in this collection are sweet as can be, berry citrus bloom, and bunnies and flowers. So the tall speckled jars will be retailing for $31, while the 3 wicks will be the standard $26. And this collection will be launching on Thursday, March 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're on the West Coast. So with all of that information out of the way, let's go ahead and get into what these candles smell like. So let's start out here with chocolate eggs. The scent notes on chocolate eggs are milk chocolate, sweet, sugar crystals, vanilla, buttercream, and cocoa. And that is very, very decadently sweet chocolate. So I wanted to start out with this fragrance because chocolate is kind of an intense scent in candles. It's not necessarily something that I go crazy for. I absolutely love chocolate as a dessert, but in candle form, it's not really my thing. And unfortunately, that is the case with this candle here. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing is so authentically chocolate. It's super fudgy, very, very decadent. This one really reminds me of like baking brownies. You take them fresh out of the oven. They're still a little bit gooey in the middle. They're definitely in that in-between state of solid and liquid form. It's just pure fudgy sweet chocolate. So of course it smells delicious, but for me personally, it is a very heavy chocolate, and I was a little bit afraid to burn it because on cold it is so strong, it's so potent. And so I did give it a couple hours of burn time here, and this thing was blowing me out of the room. It was super, super intense. I could only do about a couple of hours worth. This thing was throwing like a beast. I burned it up here in my room on the second story. And when my friend came over while I was burning this candle, she walked in through the front door downstairs and she said to herself, is someone baking something? It smells like chocolate. And for this candle to make it all the way downstairs, that's really something. So strength and performance on this thing is a total winner. But unfortunately, I am just not the biggest chocolate candle guy. So if chocolate is your thing, this is 100% a winner. Seek this one out. But if you're not usually a gourmand lover, you don't really love chocolate scents, then I would say this one is probably not for you. So if that sounds like your thing, this is the one to grab. So up next here, let's go ahead and talk about something that's a little bit more my speed with carrot cake. So the scent notes on carrot cake are carrot cake, spice, and vanilla frosting. So this is a gourmand that I can do. Right off the top of this thing, you are really getting that spicy cinnamon mixed with the fluffy cake and just a hint of that vanilla frosting in the background. It's really delicious. It's not super overly sweet. The spice in here is really prevalent and really helps to tone that sweetness down. And it leans more towards like bakery spice cinnamon rather than a red hot tamale cinnamon to my nose. But if you don't like your gourmands to smell overly spicy, if you don't like cinnamon scents in general, then it may be a little bit much for you. This one actually reminds me a lot of the Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin from the second Halloween release last year. It's kind of got that same heavy spice going on that I found in that candle without that gingery pumpkin and that heavy whipped cream. Now, I have had this candle for a minute, so I have been burning it quite a bit. I'm almost down to the halfway mark. And while burning, that vanilla cream on the bottom does come out just a little bit, but it doesn't overtake the fragrance. So if you want a carrot cake fragrance that's mostly like cream cheese frosting, you're not gonna get it here. It's something that's a little bit more well balanced in my opinion. While burning this one, I actually kept thinking to myself that this fragrance was really reminding me of those little graham crackers. I'm pretty sure they're called Teddy Grahams, and they had a cinnamon flavor of those. And to me, what this candle smells like is if you took that cinnamon Teddy Graham and dipped it in just a little bit of vanilla frosting. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this scent. So strength and performance on this one, not necessarily blowing me out of the water. It had a very standard performance. Noticeable in the room, you can tell that there was a candle lit, but it wasn't necessarily leaving the room, traveling very far. It wasn't intense when I lit it up, but it was a nice cozy fragrance when it was burning. So if you like a heavy spiced cake type scent, if you're a carrot cake lover in general, I think that you will really enjoy this one. And I did also want to mention here that I do believe that this carrot cake and also chocolate eggs were both available last year in the Country Candle line. And I believe it was confirmed that these are the exact same fragrance that were in those Country Candle lines. So if you enjoyed them last year and wanted to repurchase them this year, they have found a new home in these tall jar formats. So up next here, we have one that I believe is an entirely brand new fragrance, and that is Easter Petals. So the scent notes on Easter Petals are sparkling lemon, petitgrain twigs, Italian bergamot, neroli blossom, patchouli, musks, and amber. So this is a very breezy, clean, and fresh floral. The first thing I get out of this scent is that neroli blossom. It is very, very intense in there. And then you get hit with those citrus scents, the sparkling lemon, the Italian bergamot really come through and give it a little bit of a punch. And surprisingly, you do get that like twig scent in there. There is a noticeable like woodiness to it, maybe a little bit of greenery from the stem of the flower. It is a really pretty, fresh, neutralizing scent that I am surprised by how much I enjoy it. Usually I'm not the biggest fan of neroli as a scent, as sometimes it can lean a little bit like sunscreeny to me. And you do get that a little bit in this one, but that Italian bergamot and the sparkling lemon really help it from going too beachy and really help to give it just this nice, springy, energizing touch that I really love. Now, I have also given this one a pretty considerable burn, and while on cold it is a little bit intense, it smells like it's gonna be an insane powerhouse. While burning, it does kind of mellow out. It doesn't get too intense. It doesn't get too headache inducing. To me, it's not necessarily a heady floral, although I do imagine if you don't like floral scents, you probably aren't going to enjoy this one. But the patchouli and those woody elements really help to ground it, in my opinion. And that sparkling lemon really does come through on burn. It does have a little bit of like effervescent nature to it that really helps this one out for me and does help it to have like a fun Easter vibe. So if you're a floral lover, if you're a fan of neroli, even if you're a fan of like citrusy type scents, I feel like you would probably gravitate towards this one. This is another one where the performance wasn't necessarily blowing me away. It was present and noticeable in the room while lit, but not necessarily making me want to open my windows and air the house out, as it is very light and breezy. But personally, I am a fan of this one. I do prefer this floral as opposed to the one that was available in last year's Easter collection. This one is definitely perfect for those early morning springtime burns. So let's go ahead and talk about our last speckled jar and our first 3-wick, as Lemon Sugar Marshmallow and Sweet as Can Be are actually the same fragrance. So the scent notes on Lemon Sugar Marshmallow are lemon, sweet, lemon zest, pastry, and vanilla sugar. And the fragrance notes on Sweet as Can Be are lemon, pastry, butter, vanilla, and sugar. So these are a returning fragrance from last year. It was really popular and I never got a chance to try it. And this year I'm excited that I got both of these because I really enjoy this one. It's such a punchy, zesty lemon fragrance. And zesty really is that keyword. This one really packs a punch. There is like a sourness to that lemon in here. And then that's followed by that smooth vanilla and buttery pastry note that really gives it like a lemon bar quality. Now, I know it's called Lemon Sugar Marshmallow, but aside from like the vanilla scent in there, I wouldn't really pick up marshmallow if it wasn't in the name. To me, it more resembles a lemon bar as opposed to a lemon marshmallow or even like a lemon pie. But regardless of that, I really do enjoy this one. It's a super fun, festive, delicious gourmand scent. And while I haven't been able to burn the 3-wick quite yet, I have been kind of going to town on this 2-wick here. I've burned it to about the halfway mark, and this thing is a total powerhouse. I was burning this downstairs in my living room. I gave this one to my dad to enjoy for one night while I was out of the house, and when I came back, I was instantly punched in the face by that zesty lemon. And not only that, but when I went upstairs to my room, I could smell it in my room. And even when I lit up a candle of my own in the room, I could still smell this candle over the one that was burning right next to me. So performance on this one is like almost at a 10, and it translates super well to burning. It doesn't lose any of its punch while burning. You still get that super zesty lemon, but the vanilla and the sugary elements do also help to make it more sweet and less sour, along with having that bready, flaky pastry to even things out and make it distinctly gourmand. And usually I find that the performance in the 3-wick version is almost even better than the 2-wick version most of the time. So I have no doubt that the 3-wick version will perform well on its own. But if you love lemon fragrances, if you love lemon gourmands, then I would highly recommend the Lemon Sugar Marshmallow and the Sweet as Can Be fragrances. So for these last two 3-wick fragrances, I do believe they are brand new for this year. And the first of those two that I'll be talking about is Berry Citrus Bloom. So the scent notes on Berry Citrus Bloom are red berries, orange, rose, jasmine, freesia, geranium, musk, sandalwood, patchouli, and amber. This one is really, really pretty. Straight off the top of this thing, you are getting those very tart red berries mixing in with that orange. And then you get hit with a heavy dose of rose with just a little bit of that freesia coming in to support it a bit. You're definitely getting a perfumey patchouli in there, aided by that amber as well. This one does have a little bit of a perfumey thing going on in there. It's super bright and fresh and springy. It almost has like a fancy Easter brunch type vibe to it. You're getting dressed up in your nice clothes. You're going to hang out with some family. You're sitting in a really nice garden and there's a bunch of fresh fruit on a table that you're sitting at. Just a gorgeous, fun spring floral. One of the key factors of what I love about this fragrance is how tart those berries are. It's really zingy, and the way that it plays off those florals is just like really hitting for me. The orange in here almost reads as like a bit tangerine in the way that it's played, as it's distinctly more bitter than an orange. It's not a super sweet, fresh orange. I am really enjoying this one. I think it's super fun, super pretty. If you're not a fan of rose in your fragrance, I would say probably avoid this one, as that rose is the main player in the florals that are in here. So I did give this one a burn as well, and it did have a very solid performance, very noticeable in the room. I could smell it traveling a bit down the hallway, doesn't quite necessarily get down the stairs. I could see this one getting a little bit headache inducing if it were too intense. So I do think that works a little bit in its favor, but personally, I'm really enjoying it. If you like your florals mixed with fruits, or if you enjoy a tart berry scent, then consider giving Berry Citrus Bloom a try. So up last here we have Bunnies and Flowers. So the scent notes on Bunnies and Flowers are green, foliage, vetiver, floral, moss, and wood. So when I first saw those scent notes, I was super excited about this fragrance. I'm a huge fan of the woody, green, floral type scents, and this one is no different. I do really like this scent. Right off the top, you are getting those greens, that vetiver. It does have an herbal, almost grass-like quality to it. You get the dried wood from the base, just a little bit of that moss. Very green, very vibrant, very earthy. And this one, when I smelled it for the first time, was really transportive to me. Because to me, what this fragrance smells like is like a grassy hill on a nice spring day, and specifically one of those just grassy green hills that has those white flowers in bloom all over it. And I'm not talking about like a big like flower patch. I'm talking about like the type of grass that has just those really small, almost like clover-esque flowers. I don't exactly know what that's called. I'll try to look up like a reference picture or two and put them on screen here of where this is taking me. But there isn't really like a distinct floral that's jumping out at me in this candle. It definitely smells more like the white floral, a little bit more of a heady floral, but it just instantly reminded me of like spring when I was a kid. So I think that's very in line for an Easter collection. So while I really enjoy this fragrance on its own, I was a little bit disappointed with the performance here. I did give this a couple of considerable burns, and both times I was able to smell the scent, but on cold I expected this one to be a lot more intense, and both times I burned it, it was a little bit light for me. Not light enough to where I had to like hover over the candle or anything, but after about an hour or two, I did kind of forget that it was burning at all, and overall I do kind of wish it had more of a presence than that. But if you do like a green, grassy, floral, woody type scent, and you don't want it to be too intense, then Bunnies and Flowers I think is going to be perfect for you. So that is all I have for you guys today. Overall, I think that this is a very fun, festive collection. There are definitely some winners here for me, and that coupled along with the fact that these jars are so pretty and perfect for decoration, I think that a lot of people are going to be very happy with it. Now, personally, I'm not the biggest gourmand lover out there, so the more foodie fragrances in this collection aren't necessarily my favorite, but I'm a sucker for some good florals and some good packaging, so I think that there is something for everyone to like here. Once again, these are going to be dropping on Thursday, March 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're on the West Coast. And if you would like to save a little bit of money on these candles, you can always use code WICKEDDOLLBOY for 15% off your purchase. And once again, I'd like to thank Kringle for sending these out for me to review. Let me know what you guys are excited about out of this collection. Are you planning on picking anything up? Have you tried any of them last year? What your thoughts on everything are? I'm really excited to get back into the swing of things. There has been a lot of new releases lately, and I have a few collections that I definitely want to be talking about, so hopefully I can be a little bit more consistent going forward here. So if you're excited about that too and want to see more content here on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all of the goings on here. Remember to leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and until the next one, I will see you guys later. Bye.